St. Albans, Vermont. We're named after Captain Nathaniel Hannaford, a drum major from the War of 1812, who served, during the War of 1812. I already said that. So we're going to play a bunch of different stuff for you today. And the first thing I want to start with, okay, we're going to play a bunch of music for you today. We're going to start off with two British pieces from around the time of the Revolution.
Nice.
From the beginning of the settlement of America through to about World War I. And one of the things that was, I think, most special or very special about the way that our music was used is that it was used to regulate all different parts of camp life. So the first thing that you would hear when you woke up in the morning would have been a song which you will see is a very good alarm clock. I'm going to ask our Fife Sergeant Isaac to come join me, and we're going to play the Reveille as used in about the Revolutionary War era. dressed and get out and fall in. And if you slept through that, that would be impressive. All right, let me look at my cheat sheet here. We're gonna now play some music as you would have heard it on parade. So playing songs all the time is very tiring. So there was something called a street beat that was used in between songs. So you'll hear us play kind of as they would have marched and as we still march in parades today. Street beat, and then some songs, and then another street beat, more songs. And it'll be a little taste of what music on the march was like. So as you can see, we have a few different types of instruments going on, and I'll go through each of them. Before I do though, I want to start with the spontoon. So our drum major wields that very long spontoon and uses that to give commands, both audible commands and also visual commands, like that. Drum major's role was very important. Traditionally, it would have been the senior drummer of a regiment would have served as the drum major. Now we have dedicated drum majors who often play an instrument as well. We're going to play a song for you now that shows off the drum. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about the drums we play. These are rope tension snare drums. So they're traditionally a calfskin head. We use Kevlar now because it works better in the rain. We have to play a lot in the rain up here. And then we have rope tension drums, and we use these ears to put tension on the drum and control how loud it is. And then the snares give you that nice snap sound. They go across the bottom of the drum here. We're going to play Grandfather's Clock, which is a traditional tune from the mid-1800s, and it has some cool drum stuff going on, so keep an eye out. So the fife is a pretty simple instrument. It's a piece of wood with a hole drilled through all the way. Put in 7 holes and put a cork in the end. Back in the Revolutionary War era, they weren't too precise about where all these holes landed. So they would actually, there was a job which was to play all the fifes that were being manufactured and sort them by which ones were kind of close to in tune with each other and send those to the same area. Because otherwise bad things would happen. We play fifes that are in the key of B flat. They're kind of what the fife stabilized to by the Civil War era. And these fifes are made very precisely so we can do things like harmony and play all kinds of cool music. So we're now going to play 2 pieces that showcase our fife section. Soldiers could use fifes and drums for performing things like dances. So we're going to do 2 of those for you now. Actually, we'll do 1, and then we'll do another song for entertainment, which is about now. Okay.
I think that's the kids.
last part of our corps that I haven't told you about yet is our color guard. So we carry a couple of flags, most of them authentic to various periods that we march in. Sometimes we carry the Vermont flag, but today we are carrying a flag most of you will recognize, the Green Mountain White flag. We are also carrying this American flag, which, if you look at it, looks a little different from the one you may be used to. If you count, it has 15 stripes instead of the usual 13. And the reason for that is when they first started adding states, they weren't really clear on whether they were going to be adding stars or stripes. So when Vermont and Kentucky joined the U.S., they added stripes at first. So we have a nice 15 stripe flag, which is authentic to the area when Vermont first became a state. We're going to be now playing a couple of patriotic tunes, which you will recognize. So we get our music from a lot of different places. We just played some patriotic songs. Before that, we played some sea shanties. You also heard some campaign songs from the early 1800s, songs that decried terrible tyrants like John Adams. So our music comes from all over the place. This year, we're playing a bunch of French music in honor both of our heritage as Samuel de Champlain coming to Lake Champlain, and then also our French neighbors up to the north in Quebec. We're going to play a couple pieces for you now that are French regimental marches from the late 1600s. So in France at the time, music was being composed by mostly court musicians in the court of the various King Louis who lived around that era. The music we're going to play for you is by Lully, who was also a composer of French operas, French ballets, and also regimental marches. He was most famous probably for his compositions for ballets. He actually died from gangrene after impaling himself in the foot with his staff that he was using to keep time for ballet. So that is the man who composed these two songs. His songs are lovely. The first one will be the March of the Regiment from the city of Tours in France. And then we'll play a march of the Marshal of Saxony, who was one of the men who developed kind of 1700s warfare, and the modern warfare of that era was the Marshal of Saxony. So the regimental marches of those two units.
Was it a rusty metal staff?
Okay, the next thing we're going to do for you is some marching and maneuvering. So this is something that in the fife and drum community is fairly unique to our corps. Again, we're doing French music and French-inspired music this year. So there are a couple really fun... There are a couple really fun songs in this set. The first one we're going to play is called Victory Is to Us. And it was from a French opera. Napoleon liked it so much, he had his military learn it every time they conquered a foreign capital, which was relatively frequently at the time. They would play this song down their main street saying, look how cool we are. So that's the first one. We're going to play some French dances. We're going to play some modern music inspired by the Napoleonic era. And then we're going to play one called Ah Ça Ira. So Ah Ça Ira is a French song that was inspired by Benjamin Franklin. Whenever people asked him, how's the revolution going? He would say, it'll be all right, Ah Ça Ira, right? It'll be all right, it'll be all right. And that became such a catchphrase for him that they wrote a song about it. And then when the French Revolution started, they resurrected it. And they said, it'll be all right. We're going to get rid of all the aristocrats, it'll be all right. And over the years, it became more and more violent through the French Revolution, to the point where the British had a bright idea, we'll write a parody of it. So they wrote an even fancier version, which is what we're going to play. Then we'll end up with some French-Canadian music that you'll likely recognize, and that'll be the end of our maneuvering piece. So, enjoy. This is a bit longer.